Alrighty, yo, what is going on, everybody? It's your boy, Mr. DDG94, back with another reaction video. Today, we finna react to Backlash 2025 was. Well, we here to do our Backlash review, okay? We here to do our Backlash review. Backlash just happened, and I must say, they let niggas cook. I'm not gonna lie. A. The build up wasn't good, but they let niggas cook. I'm not even gonna hold you, bruh. This was a pretty good show for it to only have like what 4 or 5 matches. Was see here, United States, Becky Lynch match, the Gunther match. Trying to think who else. Oh, Dominic and Penta. That's 4. Yeah, 5. We have 5 matches. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And they let niggas cook, man. They let niggas cook, man. I walked away from this show satisfied. I don't know about y'all. A lot of y'all wrestling nerds out there, smarks, whatever y'all want to call yourselves, y'all sit up here, y'all just shit on the product nonstop. Y'all just love shitting on this product nonstop. In my personal opinion, this was a good show. I enjoyed this. I'm not one of them people that's gonna be out here saying Triple H needs to stop. The Triple H hate train, I think, is just a popular thing to do now. In reality, this was not a bad show at all. Some people have some critiques about it, but me personally, I thought this was a great show. I enjoyed it. The crowd was into it. Shout out to St. Louis, because without them, this wouldn't have worked. So the crowd was definitely into it. St. Louis understood the assignment and they executed flawlessly. They was definitely involved with every single match. Every single match they was involved. From the first match, which was a fucking banger, to the last match. Good show. Good show. Definitely a good show. But without further ado, let's get right into it.
This was one of the least hyped pay-per-views in recent memory. I don't remember a time in the last 2 years where I was so unhyped for a show like Backlash. And the problem with it is there's some stuff to be hyped about. You know, John Cena and Randy Orton for the last time. If you were growing up like me during that era, you will know that these two were basically sworn rivals. It was one of the bigger rivalries of my childhood, even though it wasn't my favorite. So that was something to look out for. But even then, there just wasn't much hype with this show. And it felt like WWE isn't trying much after WrestleMania, which is something they usually do. With that said, let's get into it. Okay. LA Knight, Damian Priest, and Drew McIntyre challenged Jacob Fatu for the United States Championship. This is one of the first title defenses for Jacob Fatu. Drew is obviously set up for much bigger things, but it's nice to see a different name in between these three. Now, I had enough of the tag team matches involving LA Knight, Sol Sikoa, and Jacob Fatu, but what about this match? It was good. That's just saying it lightly. The crowd was really into it, and it was an easy layup for the talent. LA Knight and Drew McIntyre were on fire early on. Then Priest comes in, and it's like they had some sort of momentum boost that began right when the last guys ended. Fatu's time, he looked like the weakest up to this point, but that would quickly change. Fatu overwhelmed Drew and unlike the side that hadn't been seen in this match. This one was exciting, and these guys didn't need to do much here in terms of having a good match. The crowd basically made it the easiest match for.
They didn't have to, but due to it only being like 5 matches, on the card, this made a lot of. They let them cook, bro. They did. I go as far as to say this was definitely match of the night by far. This was definitely match of the night. It's not even up for debate, bro. This was definitely match of the night for me. I think every match was pretty good. I don't know about that Gunther. I don't really know too much about that Gunther and Pat McAfee match, but this right here was match of the night, hands down. I say a close second. A close second is the Cena Orton match, and then the Becky Lynch match. That was pretty good. Yeah, but I wouldn't say every match was bad. I just say They just don't stack up to this one. This was match of the night. They went balls to the wall in this one. This was by far the best match of the entire night, in my personal opinion.
For them because they were cheering and going crazy for any move they would throw out there. Even if they hit a headlock over here, fans would have gone crazy. Fatu was a monster, no selling a belly to belly from the top and having this great sequence leading to the crowd going insane. It was a very exciting match. Drew had the match won twice, with the second being frustrating since Priest pulled the ref out of the ring. And I gotta say it again, this was awesome and it gave that vibe and excitement of an early Triple H era pay-per-view.
Oh yeah, they said Drew McIntyre got injured on this spot right here. He hit his head and actually went to the hospital. So hopefully everything is okay with Drew. Hopefully.
It was insanity. Solo Sikoa showed up and saved Jacob Fatu, and then from out of nowhere, Jeff Cobb debuted with Solo and Fatu, although Fatu wasn't exactly happy. Is Backlash codename for Bloodline? There's always someone showing up for them. Wonderful match. These four put on an actual show, and I can't say enough good things about it. I just can't. Plenty of passion from this four, man. All of them showed a lot of heart here. Drew McIntyre in particular took a bad landing with us out the heaven in the crowd. And much respect for these four because they really put on a show for this opener. Becky Lynch is vying.
The spot where they was on the turnbuckle and Drew threw Jacob off and then he hit a swanton and then went. That shit was fire. That should have sold you on Jacob Fatu right now. Jacob Fatu is. A lot of stock needs to be invested into. If that don't raise his that one sequence right there, if that don't raise his stock, I don't know what will, bro. His stock needs to be raised a little bit more. Not up to world championship level, but definitely him holding on to that championship. I say at least till the Royal Rumble. That's the type of stock I'm talking about. I'm talking about keeping him as United States champion, just making him a dominant United States champion until we get to the Royal Rumble. And then sometime around the Royal Rumble, let him lose the title, let him go into the Rumble. I don't know if you want to let him win, but I would definitely let him be be in the final two for next year's WrestleMania. He definitely needs to be in the final two for next year's WrestleMania for sure. Yeah, I'm investing a lot of stock in Jacob Fatu right now, for real.
For the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Lyra Valkyria is her last obstacle in the way. This story came from out of nowhere. Becky turned on Lyra after losing the tag team titles and is once again a villain. I think this feud is important for the development of Lyra Valkyria, and I actually feel like this is a match she should win. Simple story here with Becky showing a different side of viciousness and most importantly, experience. She's been through this before, whereas this was the toughest match.
This was very basic until we started getting into the meat and potatoes of this match. Once again, Five matches on the card. Triple H let these niggas cook. Think about it. They on the card. It's a 3-hour event and it's only 5 matches. You gotta slow marinate, gotta let it cook. Like I said in the beginning, pretty I even went to the bathroom. I came back, it was still And then all of a sudden, shit just picked up, bro. Shit picked up. Definitely some signs of inexperience. Definitely some signs of inexperience. But aside from that, though, still, this was the third best match of the night by far. This was a really good match once they picked it up.
Of Lyra's career up to this point. She was beaten repeatedly but showed great resiliency. This one is basically a perfect example of who Becky and Lyra were at this point. Lyra was starting to become much more resilient, whereas Becky was becoming more desperate. Her desperation was starting to show no limit because she was throwing at her everything. She countered the disarmor, she escaped the disarmor, she kicked out of the Uranagis, she kicked out of everything. So she resorted to cheating. Becky was wrestling with emotions at this point, and it led to Lyra winning the match. So when Lyra won, she lost it. I'm glad Lyra won here. I enjoyed the story of Lyra Valkyria responding to everything that Becky Lynch threw at her. She's a great talent. There's this natural underdog aspect that radiates from her, and it makes her performances even better because she has this storytelling ability that's impressive. That's one thing to mention here. I'm really glad that it wasn't Becky Lynch winning here because I thought that would have been stupid. The finish was kind of weird. It was very odd, but it serves the story with Becky barely losing the match. She lost it here. I actually thought she was going to beat up Lyra even more, but the officials separated them. Impressive performance from Lyra Valkyria. I really liked her here. Becky did well here putting her over and making her seem like a much bigger talent to the audience, I think coming out of this feud is going to be a great thing for her. Dominic Mysterio defends the Intercontinental Championship against Penta El Zero Miedo. This is a match I had high hopes for. They had a good matchup on the Raw after WrestleMania. Dom's been becoming a bit of a hero to the crowd recently. Ever since he got that reaction at WrestleMania, it seemed like he's on the outs as a villain. Dom surprised everyone here with an impressive set of moves. He outmaneuvered Penta early on, and he was one step ahead of the challenger for the most part during this match. And he was doing it with swagger. He even hit an Oblivion here. Brutal Destroyer on the apron from Penta, and there's Carl.
I got mad when he hit that Oblivion because the Oblivion is like a very protected move. So to see another person do it, it kind of ruins the move. Like, it's not a good idea to have another wrestler do a move that's protected, like the Oblivion. The Oblivion is protected. So to see Dom do that move and Penta kick out of it, it ruins the move. Like, I don't think that was a good idea. If anything, that should have been the finish. He counters out of the 619, and Dom, and then he gets distracted by Carlito or Finn Balor or whoever, and then Dom hits him with the Oblivion. 1, 2, 3. You have to protect that move. If another wrestler uses that move and it's protected on that wrestler, then you need to keep that move protected if another wrestler decides to use it. That move needs to stay protected. I didn't like that at all. That kind of pissed me off about this match. That really pissed me off about this match, that they use the Oblivion and it's very protected on Liv, but when Dom uses it, it's an easy kick out. No, you can't do that.
Carlito. Then the rest of the Judgment Day were here, and watching the sequence, these guys are so cooked. They're done. They couldn't do an interference anymore. But I guess that's what happens when you don't got Rhea and Damian Priest by your side. Oh well, I guess the Judgment Day has been patched. Then El Grande Americano comes in and headbutts Penta with a steel plate, leading to the win, and that was disappointing. I was enjoying this match, but then I realized they have Grande Americano feuding with Penta, and it just put a damper on things. The whole El Grande allegedly Chad Gable Americano thing, I feel like it's run its course a bit, and if it doesn't end with Penta unmasking him, then it's pointless. Like, I'm not gonna care unless they actually do that. With that said, I like this match a bit, but after seeing the interferences, they just wanted to put an additional match on the card, something that was decent. You know, because we saw this match on Raw. It wasn't as if they blew away the Raw match or anything like that. This was just an additional match on the card. Also, I'm hoping that Penta does eventually win the Intercontinental Championship. That's one thing I'm looking forward to this year. Pat McAfee and Gunther. A very random match that seems to be about Gunther regaining his edge. This is the most intense Michael Cole has been since 2012. And I kind of forgot that Pat is athletic. He's shown plenty of athleticism in the past, but this match feels weird. His lack of experience was the talk of the commentary. He didn't fully leap over the ropes and learned who Gunther was. This was a battle that embarrassed Pat McAfee with Michael Cole showing plenty of emotion. At times, it looked like this guy randomly teleported from the commentary table to the ring and didn't know what he was doing. He's just standing there like a deer in the headlights. The man was trying to momentum boost as if he's Hulk Hogan when there's no momentum since he's 67 overall. He was bussed around, thrown around, being around, and this was a systematic destruction of Pat McAfee that was quickly undone by Gunther's complacency. Best moment of the match up to this point, with Pat doing everything he could before getting a kick out at 1. He did all of this just for a 1 count. I thought Cole was turning into his 2011 self with his confidence, but it was just him telling Pat to give up. Then at this moment, I thought Pat and Bear would drop him with this sweet chin music and pedigree combo. I really thought they were. Then when Cole pulled his...
I'm not gonna lie to you, Michael Cole was the most annoying part of this match. I would have liked it better if Michael Cole would have just stayed on the announcement. His involvement was unnecessary. You could have just let Pat McAfee should have got destroyed in this match. I don't care what anybody say. They kind of made Gunther look weak in this match. That's why this is my least favorite match of the night, because you did not, you kind of hurting Gunther's image by having him go up against Pat McAfee. It should have been pure fucking domination. You should have let him get a little bit in, you know what I'm saying? A little bit of offense in, make it seem like he could have, and then he makes one fatal mistake and Gunther takes advantage and ends it because he not playing no games. You need to make Gunther more serious. He just lost his world heavyweight title, and yet he's at the back of the line to get it back. So if he's at the back of the line and you're making a story arc where he has to redeem himself in order to get back to the World Heavyweight Championship, wouldn't it be better to make him strong than make him look? No. I understand you trying to tell a story. I understand y'all trying to cater to the fans. This was not the way to do it, man. This was not the way to do it. If anything, could have brought like an NXT call up to be in Pat McAfee's position. That would have made more sense. You bring an NXT call up, somebody who, you know, they're a good wrestler, but they not that good to take on Gunther, and then they show and improve on Gunther, but Gunther automatically gets over, and it makes him look dominant, and then that creates a feud between them. That would have been a nice thing to do, but this right here, having Michael Cole and Pat McAfee, this you turning Gunther into one of them. You turning Gunther into like goofy Kane, pretty much. Remember when Kane was goofy for a while, and he's nah, bro. You don't want to do that with this. You don't want to turn him into a goofy Kane. You don't want to turn him into mid 2000s Mark Henry. You don't want to turn him into that. You want him to be a dominant fucking heel. Don't destroy this man's aura with these damn announcers, bro. These are announcers.
Foot under the rope, they actually got me here, and Cole sold the terror of Gunther all too well. I liked how they made Pat to be a very fiery person, but even he couldn't conquer the ring general because this is not his world. For as good as Pat McAfee was, he was never going to beat Gunther. Good match. They didn't go crazy with having Pat almost beat Gunther, and if anything, there wasn't really a moment where he had him down. This was enough to earn respect from the former champion for his efforts. Honestly, I couldn't really hate it. Pat McAfee showed a lot of passion here in that role. The crowd was rooting for him like crazy, even though they knew it wasn't going to happen.
He showed a lot of passion, but you have to protect Gunther's character, bro. I don't know what's going on with the creative side of things, but you have to protect his character.
And I've seen some people be like, oh, Gunther could have ended him. Well, he didn't. He didn't want to because his ego preferred to keep the match going. And he wasn't even in danger of losing because this guy kicked out at one point. So that tells you all you need to know. The last real champion, John Cena, puts up the title he threatened to walk away with against Randy Orton in his hometown of St. Louis. These two, of course, had plenty of history in the past. We all remember their different iterations of their feud, whether it's Orton punting Cena's dead or the 60-minute Iron Man match. But this was the last time, and for the first...
This is the second best match of the night, hands down. They went all out. The chemistry was there. They didn't have to. You can tell they didn't have to do too much to make a good match, bro. These two have faced each other so many times. It's not, bro. The chemistry was always there. It's still there. That's crazy, bro. We ain't seen these two face each other since fucking 2014, bro. Over 11 years ago. We ain't seen these two face each other since 2014, bro. This was a good one. This was definitely a good one. I like this. The chemistry was there. Everything was there. Definitely, this was the second best match of the night, bro. 10 times better than the WrestleMania match with Cody. This was definitely a good match by far.
First time in two different roles. It's a bizarre thing to see with Randy Orton as the face and John Cena as the heel. Now, John Cena's heel run hasn't been loved much recently because WWE is doing this thing where it's like he threatens to ruin wrestling. Oh, you're supposed to be angry with a storyline they're purposefully making bad. And it all comes down to WWE just being scared of getting John Cena a new look, new attire and all that. Cena wants to ruin wrestling by threatening to leave with the WWE Championship. And in the process, he wants to bore people out, I guess is what they're trying to say. It's not exactly a good thing, but whatever. Okay, Cena was overwhelmed early on and walked out. This was so weird to see. This guy was so far away from being the actual fighting champion he used to be in the past. He did integrate into the match, and this was basically their greatest hits. The slow points, the comebacks, all of that. They know each other so well, but they kicked it up once Orton connected with an RKO off an AA attempt. The finishers really helped this match as Cena isn't as strong as he used to be in ring, but there's always a thrill with the finishers. Not too much because we kind of knew the result of this match, but just a little. Orton even attempted a punt at one point. Cena turned into a monkey at one point, jumping as if he's Randy Orton, and this is a point he had the match won, but the ref was down. Big RKO, but the ref took too long. It was drama-filled, overbooked, but it's way better than almost every one of their previous matches. This match randomly became no DQ at one point, which was funny, funny because the match involved plenty of ref bumps and like, you know what, we're gonna use weapons. Orton hit the most RKOs he's ever hit in a match probably, and these officials coming down like the match wasn't ongoing. Orton was the most sane person here. He's like, oh, there's a match happening. Yeah, that's definitely the most RKOs in a match. R-Truth came out, and this was enough for Cena to win because Orton wasted his time with him, leading to the low blow and the belt shot. And this was one of the most absurd main events I've ever watched. They think, oh, Cena might not deliver, so they go off the deep end with the finishers. 3 ref spots, a table, the belt, R-Truth coming out. This sounds like a fantasy booking of a 12-year-old, and I'm not gonna lie, this match was weird. But there was a lot to enjoy there because it got sillier by the minute. Way better than Cody and Cena at WrestleMania, and unfortunately, one of the most entertaining matches that these two ever put on with each other. It was so messy and all over the place. The finishers were thrown out like candy, too many referees knocked out, and it was crazy in a literal way. I'd prefer this than whatever serious match they probably considered when making this one. It's still outrageous though. I would have liked it a little more if R-Truth wasn't involved. Like if they had Cena be smart and cheat to win here anyways, I would have liked the match more, but they had the R-Truth thing here. It's like, bro, come on. Regardless though, this is one of the better John Cena and Randy Orton matches, and it's just because they didn't take it seriously. They knew the limitations. They just decided to go crazy. It's a weird match. It's one of the weirdest main events you'll ever watch because you'll feel a sense of overbooking, but at the same time, a sense of amazement. It's odd. It's so weird. It is a bit divisive, you know, like I've seen some people that love this match like crazy, which I didn't because I thought there was too many situations in the match. But I didn't hate it, you know, I actually liked it a bit. Thought it was much more enjoyable than whatever they probably would have done. I thought it was more enjoyable than the Cody match, so that's saying something. I would have hoped that R-Truth didn't interfere here because this was promoted as the final match between these two. I think it should have ended strictly between Cena and Orton. That would have made sense.
I agree with
Plenty
that.
of praise to Randy Orton here for this performance. He's been in great form since his return about a year and a half ago, and it's continued here with this match. It's very enjoyable, and I don't know if this is a hot take. I actually would rather see Orton as a face at the moment than a heel. I just want to see his face run being maximized to its full potential because he's got a great connection with the crowd. He's in great form right now. I don't even think they should touch a single thing with him here. Cena at the press conference ended up AAing R-Truth in one of the weirdest
I saw that.
The reason why it's weird is because there was a lot of silence and R-Truth not thinking to himself, maybe this John Cena isn't a good person. It was funny. Cena called out the competition after the match. As for his next challenger, it could be CM Punk. I don't see it happening right now. I think that's the big...
They got to save it for Money in the Bank. It only makes sense for these two to go one-on-one in Money in the Bank. That was their best match. Well, that one time on Raw when they was fighting for #1 contendership, but this was their best match hands down there at Money in the Bank. So why not run it back? It makes all the sense in the world. Anybody but Roman. That's all I ask with this John Cena being the champion. Anybody but Roman, bro. We have seen John Cena versus Roman so many fucking times, bro. Stop that one right there. Cut it. Cut that bitch off. Do not do. Abort. Triple H, if you are listening, abort. Roman Reigns and John Cena. Do not do that match. We have seen that match too many times. I don't need it. I don't want it. I don't want to see it. You have proven your point that y'all have proven your point that Roman is the new Cena. I understand where y'all going with it, but leave that match alone. Please don't let that match go into... I feel like it should be CM Punk. We definitely need a Seth Rollins and Cena feud if they don't put the World Heavyweight title back on Seth Rollins. And if not Seth Rollins, I wouldn't mind Finn Balor, because there was a point in time where Finn Balor was the #1 contender for the World Championship, and John Cena just came in and stole his fucking... I think Finn Balor need to run that back. Definitely. I think Finn Balor definitely needs to run that back. Him and AJ Styles definitely need to have a match. I say don't do Cody until either Survivor Series or Royal Rumble. Don't bring Cody back until that point. But I think the person who should take the title off of him, hear me out. The person who I think that should take the title off of him, hear me out. I think Braun Breaker should be the one to take the title off of him. It makes a lot more sense, bro. A young up and comer that's really supposed to take over and be the next Cena anyway. it's best to put the title on somebody that's young and gonna take them out for good. Either it's either gonna be that, or you gonna have Cody come back at the Royal Rumble and take it back, because the Royal Rumble normally happens in the next year. It's the very first match of the next year. It's the very first pay-per-view of the next year. So the Royal Rumble should be where John Cena has his final match against whoever. If it's not Braun, it should be either it should be Braun Breaker or it should be Cody Rhodes. It should be either one of those two. We got Orton out the way. CM Punk should be next. Definitely need a Drew McIntyre matchup. I think a Drew McIntyre matchup is definitely needed, but that's gonna have to happen at like Clash of the Castle, whatever the fuck you call that shit. That's gonna have to happen at that pay-per-view. Like I said, Seth needs to happen. We haven't seen a John Cena and Seth match. If anything, I would make it a triple threat match with Seth. I would make it a John Cena versus Seth versus Finn Balor. You could do a triple threat with that. Him and AJ need to have a one-on-one. If they do Crown Jewel, if he decides to do Crown Jewel, I guess you have him take on whoever the world champion is for the Crown Jewel belt. I guess. There's a lot of potential with this, though. I like where we started off with. We started off good. We gave John Cena a guy who he has chemistry with. Now you give him another guy he has chemistry with. So, because it's clear that Cena still got it, but it's like it's just based off chemistry. Like him and Orton didn't have to do too much. That's just my personal opinion.
SummerSlam match, which makes a lot of sense to me. But if CM Punk is the Money in the Bank challenger, then that means Cody Rhodes and John Cena have their sequel at SummerSlam by the looks of it. I don't know how it goes. I'm just guessing. That's not a good thing. Prediction there. All right, that's Backlash 2025, one of the weirder events.
That's not a good one. I think for SummerSlam, I would probably do the AJ one there. I would probably do the AJ Styles matchup there. I think him and AJ Styles at SummerSlam is good. Then after that, he disappears for a while. You do him versus Drew at Clash of the Castle, whatever you call that shit. Then he steps away for a while. I say skip SummerSlam. I mean, not SummerSlam, Survivor Series. Skip Survivor Series. Go straight to whatever the next fucking pay-per-view is after Survivor Series. That's where we should have the triple threat with Seth and you know what? Seth and Finn Balor. Because Finn Balor definitely need to get his get back for him taking his spot. Then I say bring Cody back. If not Cody, I would say bring Braun Breaker in and let him take the title. I feel like if we're not gonna keep the Intercontinental title on him, then let's at least go for the WWE Championship. I think Braun Breaker should be the guy that ends Cena. If not him, then Cody. It would make sense to come back full circle. But that's just me, though. I don't know.
I don't really have much of a problem with this event. That was solid. It's just, it felt like WWE didn't need to do Backlash. You know what I mean? This event happened so close after WrestleMania. I don't think it needed to happen now. I think they could have pushed it until the end of the month, or they could have just waited until Money in the Bank. I would have been better off with it, honestly, but it happened. It wasn't a bad show, you know. I actually thought it was better than expected. Opener was great. The Becky and Lyra match had a great story too, with Lyra being like an amazing babyface.
They should have added a six match. I would have preferred 2 women matches. I think Io Sky needed I think Io Sky needs somebody, because Io Sky been on fire as of recently, and I would have loved to see an Io Sky I would have loved to see Io Sky, or if not, you could have did the SmackDown. You hyping that up. You should have at least did that here. You know what I'm saying? I would have preferred that to be here. Or we could have saved that tag team match, that tag team ladder match we had on SmackDown and brought it here. That would have tore the motherfucking house down. That would have put this pay-per-view over if we had did it here instead of SmackDown. That's just me though.
Good woman. Dominic and Penta was solid. I just thought to myself, if they were going to do that finish, why bother doing it after you did the Raw match? Pat McAfee and Gunther, I actually had fun with that match, to be honest. And of course, there was the main event. So yeah, I'd say it's a solid event. I liked it a little more than I did in the beginning of the show, so that's saying something. So yeah. All right, what you guys think of Backlash 2025? Please comment down below, and that's it for this video. Make sure you hit the frog splash on the like button, or perhaps the AA on the subscribe button. Peace.
Alrighty, man. That's just gonna about do it for this one. I will see you all in the next video. I think Backlash was really good. I'm gonna give it a 7.8 out of 10. So that's like a C plus, I guess. Yeah, I give it a C plus. I give it a C plus, B minus, C plus, whatever you want to call it. B minus at best. Yeah, I give it a B minus. Wasn't the best, wasn't that much to work with, but Triple H let them cook. I would have preferred the Io Sky match. I didn't think it was a good idea to have fluky finishes for like your three main matches. Like you had one match that ended perfect, that ended without any interference, and then every other match ended with interference. I didn't like that. I didn't like the Jacob Fatu match. I think it was fine letting Jacob Fatu do it on his own, but I understand they're trying to sell the story with Solo, so him and Solo can break off from each other. So I guess that's understandable. But in my personal opinion, I would have let Jacob Fatu was killing it in this match, bro. Stock is up very high for him. See here, the Penta and Dominic Mysterio match. Like I said, the Oblivion part pissed me off. When he did the Oblivion and got and Penta kicked out, that pissed me off because that's Liv Morgan's finisher, and I didn't like that at all. What else? The Gunther and Pat McAfee match. It should have been pure domination and probably like 2 minutes of Pat McAfee comeback. Pause. Michael Cole should have stayed his ass at the announcer's table. We didn't need his ass to show up. That was unnecessary. I don't know why they did that. But aside from that, though, the Cena Orton match was perfect. The ending, I just didn't like the ending. I do agree we didn't need the ending to have end that way, especially with R-Truth coming out, even though they've been hyping up R-Truth. If anything, they should have had R-Truth come out at the end of the match. They should have had R-Truth come out the end of the match, did what he did at the press conference right then and there, and then let John Cena put him through the table. That way you get him over as a heel. Doing it at the press conference is kind of wacky. I would have preferred them to do it at the end of the match because then it would have made more sense. That's just me though. But I enjoyed this. This was a solid B. This was a B minus pay-per-view by far. Good pay-per-view. Good pay-per-view. So yeah, man. Let me know what y'all think down in the comment section below. Do you think that there should have been a couple more matches added? Do you think that it was perfectly fine? Did you enjoy it? Did you not enjoy it? Other than that, though, man, I'll say it's pretty good Backlash, man. Other than that, though, I will see you all in the next video. Till then, peace out.